What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Treyway, and I'm back with another one. Today's video, we're going to be reacting to KKK members reacting to life sentences. Oh, great heavens! Good old KKK, huh? The good old KKK. Fuck y'all niggas. Sorry, I just had to say that. You know what it is with them niggas.
This KKK member was sentenced to life in prison, but you won't believe why. Welcome back, Charlie here. The Ku Klux Klan, or KKK, was founded as a hate group in the USA. The group was most active in the 1920s, but you may be surprised to learn there are still thousands of members of this evil group. Today we'll look at times KKK members were sentenced to life behind bars, and their wild reactions in the courtroom.
Nah, don't cry now.
First,
Nah, don't cry now.
Edgar Ray Killen.
Nah, don't cry now.
Edgar Ray Killen was a prominent KKK member. In 1964,
let me go back.
Actions
don't cry now.
In the courtroom. First, we have to look at Edgar Ray Killen.
Edgar Ray
Killen was a prominent KKK member. In 1964, he planned the murder of 3 people. Andrew Goodman, Michael Schwerner, and James Chaney had their lives ended. The 3 victims were civil rights activists. They were participating in the Freedom Summer of 1964. This was a big civil rights protest in Mississippi. The 3 men had just visited the victims of the burning of a black church. But that's when a KKK member who worked for the police arrested the men.
I'll be right back. Hang on. Alright, I'm back. Had to go get the mail.
The police said they were speeding, but there was no...
Let's go back.
Men had just visited the victims of the burning of a black church. But that's when a KKK member who worked for the police arrested the men. The police said they were speeding, but there was no proof. After the men were released from jail, their car was tailed by the KKK. The KKK then forced their car off the road, and then shot the 3 activists inside, sadly ending their lives. The men were found 44 days later, buried in a dam. Shockingly, at the time, the state of Mississippi refused to prosecute any of the men responsible. But in 1967, 18 men were arrested for the incident. This included the KKK leader Sam Bowers, as well as the sheriff and also Edgar Ray Killen. Most of the men involved were sent to prison, except Edgar Ray Killen. He somehow got away with the crime, or so he thought. But many years later, a reporter named Jerry Mitchell was investigating the incident. He found new witnesses, and found new evidence that Edgar Ray Killen was involved, including the fact that he planned these killings. In 2005, at age 80, Killen was arrested once again. The case went to court. He was found guilty for the crimes and was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Given that he was 80 at the time, this of course meant a life sentence. Edgar Ray Killen passed away in 2018 while behind bars. It's a shame justice was only served 40 years after the crime. But although late, at least justice was served. Next, we have to look at Sean Berry, Lawrence Brewer, and John King. In 1998, these 3 men ended the life of James Byrd Jr. This took place in Jasper, Texas. The 3 men offered to give James a ride, but instead of taking James home, the men took him to a remote road. They then assaulted James and dragged him behind a Ford pickup truck for 3 miles. Sadly, James would later pass away from the injuries. The men then...
That's what I always say, bro. Don't get in no stranger's car, bro. On bro grave, don't get in no stranger's car. 3 white men pick you up and you're black in Texas? Come on, bro. RP to the dude, RP to the black dude, but RP to James, but I'm not getting no car with no stranger. I don't care about none of that. I'll hitchhike, I'll walk, I'll Uber, something. I ain't getting in no car with no strangers. 3 white men and I'm black? Oh, man. Come on, James. Rest in peace to James, though. Sending condolences to your family, but I ain't gonna say that's what he got, but, like, come on, we gotta be smarter than that.
James's body in front of a black church. James was found the next
Make sure I'm hearing this right. He did get in that
and
car,
took
right?
him to a remote road. James Byrd Jr. This took place in Jasper, Texas.
Make sure I ain't tripping, you know?
The 3 men offered to give James a ride, but instead of taking James home, the men took him to a remote road. They then assaulted James and dragged him behind a Ford pickup truck for 3 miles. Sadly, James would later pass away from the injuries. The men then left James's body in front of a black church. James was found the next morning. There was no surveillance cameras or any witnesses. So, how were these evil men caught? Well, it was basically down to their own stupidity. Near the area where the killing took place, police found a wrench with the word Berry written on it, obviously belonging to Sean Berry. Police also found a lighter with the word Possum on it. Possum was John King's prison nickname. Lawrence Brewer and John King were well-known white supremacists, making it very obvious this was a hate crime. King even had several very hateful tattoos on his body, including the logo of a hate group named the Confederate Knights of America. A judge found Sean, Lawrence, and John all guilty for James's murder. In 2011, Lawrence Brewer was executed by injection. And in 2019, John King met the same fate. Sean Barry was sentenced to life in prison, but could be out as early as 2038. Next, let's look at Kayla Norton and Jose Torres.
What? What? Be out? What the fuck you mean? They just gave him a life sentence. How's he gonna get out?
Life in prison, but could be out as early as 2038. Next, let's look at
that's that white privilege shit. That's what I be saying, bro. That's that white privilege shit. If it was a black dude, they give him the chair, or they gonna make him serve life. Ain't no way he's gonna get out. There's no way. If he was black, there was no way.
Jose Torres. Kayla and Jose were both members of a hate group named Respect the Flag. They were sentenced for an evil attack on an 8-year-old boy's birthday party in Georgia. They said various racial obscenities. They also threatened to use firearms, and also waved Confederate flags, all while drinking heavily. This took place in July 2015, only 1 month after someone ended 9 lives in a black church. Kayla and Jose also threatened various black drivers. A judge later declared Respect the Flag as a street gang. In the courtroom, Kayla Norton cried and apologized to the victim's family.
Be tough now. Be tough now, bro. You wasn't sorry. You wasn't crying when you did it to them people. Be tough now. Be tough now. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna be tough in the streets or wherever the fuck y'all niggas was doing, be tough now when your fate is decided. Be tough. Be tough. That's all I ask for. Be tough. Be tough all the way around. All that crying, none of that. None of that, nigga. None of that. All that crying and I'm sorry for the victim. You wasn't sorry when you did it. Thank God you wasn't sorry, nigga.
Jose Torres was sentenced to 13 years in prison.
13?
Kayla Norton was given 6 years in prison for her part. They were also both banned from entering Douglas County ever again. Next, we have to look at Jeremy Christian. In May
So did they kill somebody? 13 years? 6 years? That's a lot.
17, Jeremy was on a train in Portland, Oregon. That's when he had a massive freakout. He started making very racial remarks.
I heard about this. I'm not gonna lie. He stabbed that nigga right in his neck. He stabbed one dude in his neck like six times.
They told Jeremy to calm down and stop making hateful remarks. But
he stabbed him in his neck like 6 times, and the dude survived.
Both men, along with another passenger named Ricky Best. Micah thankfully survived.
He
but
survived.
Taliesin and
I don't know if it
Ricky
was 6, but he
sadly
stabbed him in his
both
neck, though.
passed away. Jeremy Christian then ran away. He was
I heard
soon
about this.
arrested and went to trial.
He was
The
in the
surviving
KKK?
victim, Micah, said that he has nightmares every night, just proving the lasting effects of Jeremy's evil crimes. In the end, Jeremy was given 2 life sentences plus 51 years, with 0 chance of parole, meaning this dangerous and hateful man will never be released from behind bars.
White people, they weird. You never see no black people on here, bro.
Seeing as he had a major freakout.
I know it's about the KKK, but like, yeah, I seen this. I seen this video before. I seen him cover this. Not him, but like I seen somebody cover this story.
George Floyd! George Floyd! I should have killed you. I should have killed you. Everybody knows you're alive. Everybody knows you're alive.
He began shouting at one of the victims.
I wouldn't even go back and forth with that nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I would let him talk. He's done. He's done. He's cooked. I would let him talk. I'm
Next,
free. He
we
ain't.
have to look at Russell Courtier. This crime also took place in Portland, Oregon.
What's up
One
with
day,
Oregon?
Russell
What y'all got going
Courtier
up
was
there?
arguing with
Oh,
Lionel
bro.
Bruce Jr.
Out there.
outside a
It's the West Coast,
7-Eleven,
isn't it?
but things escalated rapidly. Russell Courtier got into his Jeep and ran over Lionel Bruce Jr.
Wait, what?
with Lionel Bruce Jr. outside a 7-Eleven, but things escalated rapidly. Russell Courtier got into his Jeep. Oregon. One day, Russell Courtier was arguing with Lionel Bruce Jr. outside a 7-Eleven, but things escalated rapidly. Russell Courtier got into his Jeep and ran over Lionel Bruce Jr., sadly ending his life.
Yeah.
But why would Russell Courtier do this? Well, it turns out he was part of a hateful prison gang named European Kindred.
So was he in the
had
KKK?
the group's logo on his hat as well as a tattoo on his leg.
So I thought this was about the KKK. Am I tripping? I thought this was about the KKK. Am I bugging? So all these niggas KKK and the KKK?
CCTV also caught the
It
whole
says
thing on
KKK
camera.
members reacting
He
to
was
life
arrested
sentences.
and taken to court. His girlfriend,
guess.
Colleen Hunt, was also arrested. That's because it was her car that he used, and she was cheering him on inside of the car. Russell Courtier received life imprisonment. Next, we have to look at Charles Newcomb, David Moran, and Thomas Driver. These three KKK members plotted to take
Why is
someone's
closed
life.
captions
The
on,
three
bro?
men were Florida prison guards and had planned to end the life of someone who used to be an inmate at the prison where they worked. Thankfully, the plot was
I don't know
foiled
why the
by the
subtitles was on.
FBI.
I ain't gonna
They
lie.
wanted to end the life of a man named Warren Williams. This was over a fight one of the men had with Warren. They planned to use insulin to take his life, and then dump him in a lake to make it look like he drowned. The FBI was able to save Warren Williams' life. They did this by infiltrating the KKK and finding out their plot to end Warren's life. The men are now in the same prison where they used to work. Only this time, they're not guards, but inmates. Finally, let's look at Harry Rogers. Harry Rogers was the president of the Virginia KKK. In 2021, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. This was for driving his truck through a crowd of protesters. The protesters had gathered to protest the killing of George Floyd. That's when Harry Rogers drove his truck into many people. Thankfully, no one passed away, but there were various injuries. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of assault, 1 count of destruction of property, and 1 count of hit and run. Footage later emerged of Harry at Klan member meetings, showing that what he did was by no means a mistake. Although he was sentenced to 5 years, some said that wasn't enough. That's because if Harry was driving his truck any faster, people could have easily lost their lives. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment down below which of these criminals was the most heinous. If you want to see my short videos, check out my second channel. I've been Charlie. Thanks for watching.
Alright. That's the end of that video. That's a crazy video. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a crazy video. The KKK, that's crazy, dog. That is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. RP to all the victims. The KKK members, they got what they deserve. I'm not gonna lie to you. They got what they deserve, bro. That's the end of this video. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, tell somebody you love them. And I'm out.